Olive is an ostrich. She lives with her family in the outback. But Olive is very different. Olive's dad loves to run. Olive isn't a fast runner. Olive's mum enjoys laying huge eggs. Olive doesn't like the look of that at all. Olive's little brother pecks at the ground to find tasty roots to eat. Pecking at the ground makes Olive sneeze. But Olive has an incredible imagination. So while the rest of her family are running, pecking and laying eggs, Olive can be found imagining herself going on amazing adventures when she buries her head down, down into the sand. Until she popped up somewhere new. Olive was in a white room. There were lots of people bent into the same unusual pose. And everyone was laughing.
I wonder what's so funny.
Asked Olive. Just then, a big and smiley octopus glided over to Olive.
Hello there, I'm Olive.
Hey there, dude. My name's Tie-Dye and I'm a yoga teacher. I'm trying to teach my class some yoga poses like these pictures on the walls, but we can't stop laughing, you know.
Oh, I love a good laugh.
Oh, hey, me too, man. But yoga's meant to be practiced in silence. Problem is, every time I try and teach a new pose, this happens.
Tie-Dye took a deep breath and lifted his tentacles. But as he breathed out, he released lots of bubbles and made a very funny noise. Everyone started giggling again, including Olive.
Sorry, I see what you mean, Tie-Dye.
Oh, because everyone laughs. My class can't hold the yoga poses long enough to exercise their muscles. You got any ideas, Olive?
Olive looked around the room.
A yoga class? Pictures of yoga poses? I think I may have an idea. Tie-Dye, if you call out a pose, I can find it in the pictures and copy it. And then the class can copy me instead of you.
Dude, that is an awesome idea. Just be careful, because you're new to yoga, okay?
Will do.
Olive stood on Tie-Dye's purple mat at the front of the class.
Okay, first pose, the mountain.
Olive scanned the pictures on the wall until she found one of the mountain.
Got it.
Olive copied the pose as Tie-Dye described it.
Stand tall, feet together, arms by your side. Take a deep breath and reach up, high as you can go, dudes.
Olive did the pose and everyone copied. It was going very well. And most importantly, everyone was quiet.
Good, and relax. Next, the rock and roll pose.
Olive found the right picture and copied the pose.
Lie on your back, bend your knees and bring them into you and rock forwards, then backwards.
Olive rocked forwards and backwards and the class followed.
Dudes, you're all doing great.
But then Olive rocked a little too much and she couldn't stop rolling.
Cake, watch out!
Olive rolled straight into one of the other pupils and they started rolling too, bumping into someone else. And soon everyone was rolling all over the place. Finally they stopped, but they were now all in very odd positions and laughing even more than before.
Whoa, nice work, dudes. Olive has put you in the trickiest position yet, the tree pose.
Their tummy muscles hurt because of all the laughing.
Okay, everyone, relax.
Tie-Dye and the class were extremely happy and they all felt they'd had a really good workout.
Brilliant class. Yeah, best ever.
Thanks for all your help, Olive. Turns out laughing yoga is the best kind after all. Maybe my bubbles aren't such a bad thing.
That was certainly the funniest workout I've ever had, dude.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Cake, actually, I helped an octopus teach a laughing yoga class.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing underneath a big tree. Next to it, lots of small aeroplanes were parked side by side.
Gig, look at all these aeroplanes.
Cried a little voice. Olive looked up and saw a tiny baby bird falling down from the tree. It was trying to flap its wings and fly. She just managed to catch the baby bird.
I'm Olive. Are you okay?
I'm Barry.
Squeaked the little bird.
I was trying to fly, but I'm not very good at it.
Well, you're only a baby. Where are your mum and dad?
I don't know. I went for a nap, and when I woke up, they'd flown off with the rest of the flock along with all my brothers and sisters. Maybe you could help me fly and catch up with my family.
I'm sorry. Ostriches can't fly.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Olive looked over at the planes and noticed one of them taking off into the sky.
I'm sure no one will mind if we borrow a plane for a little while. After all, it is an emergency.
Olive and Barry walked over and jumped into the cockpit of one of the planes. Inside, she found a long scarf and some goggles and put them on.
You know how to fly a plane, Olive?
Asked Barry.
Not really. But how hard can it be?
Olive saw a big red button in front of her. She pushed it and the engine roared into life. Olive steered the plane towards the runway.
How do I take off? Maybe it's this big lever.
Olive pulled back on the lever. The plane accelerated down the runway and they soared up into the sky.
We're flying!
I know!
It did take Olive a bit of time to get the hang of flying the plane.
Flying a plane is harder than I thought.
This is the best fun ever!
Eventually, Olive brought the plane under control and Barry spotted something above them. It was a flock of birds.
Look, I can see my mum and dad.
Barry waved up to his family.
Barry, what are you doing in that plane? Land down there. We'll meet you on the ground.
Just one tiny problem. I don't know how to land.
What are we going to do?
Olive looked up at the flock of birds and then at the long scarf around her neck.
A scarf? Some birds? I think I may have an idea.
Olive turned off the engine and the propeller stopped. She took off the scarf and held it so it trailed above the plane.
Okay, I want everyone to grab hold of this scarf and keep flapping those wings.
All the birds in the flock grabbed hold of the scarf with their feet. They kept flapping their wings and the plane stayed flying.
It's working, Olive.
The birds flew the plane back down, setting it gently on the ground, right next to the other planes where Olive and Barry had found it earlier.
Phew! Oh, thanks, everyone.
We didn't know we'd left you behind,
said Barry's mum, giving him a cuddle.
Yes, I was sure I'd counted all our chicks before we left, but I must have counted wrong.
What a surprise. It was Olive who helped me. She's my hero.
Thank you, Olive.
That's okay. I had a flapping brilliant time.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I've been helping a baby bird fly.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was outside in the rain, right in the middle of a large muddy field. She was wearing a maroon-coloured shirt and was holding an umbrella to keep her dry.
Oh, I'm wearing a sports kit.
There was a goal at each end of the muddy field, and behind one of the goals there was a large tree laden with apples.
Hey, number 7.
Shouted a tall pig with a clipboard.
Hello, I'm Olive.
I'm Sean Curlytail. I coach the Richmond Hockey Hogs.
He said, pointing towards a group of pigs all wearing the same maroon kit as Olive.
And you must be our missing team member.
Oh, how exciting.
Problem is, you're not the only thing missing. Today, I forgot to bring the hockey sticks and hockey balls. We can't play hockey without them.
Olive looked at the big apple tree.
Some apples? My umbrella? I think I may have an idea.
Olive organised the team into a large pyramid with hair at the very top. Olive hooked her umbrella around a branch that had lots of apples hanging down from it. She shook the branch, and all the apples fell off it and tumbled to the ground.
Oh, this is all well and good, and apples are very tasty. But how does this help us play hockey?
Well, a hockey ball is small and round like an apple. And a hockey stick is a long straight stick with a curve on the bottom, a bit like this umbrella.
Oh, brilliant idea, Olive. But to play a game of hockey, we all need a stick. Excuse me.
Piped up a small pig.
I'm Sophie Swine, the captain of the Hogs. Why don't we have a penalty shootout? We only need one stick for that.
Great idea!
Said Sean, and he quickly organised the competition. Each pig would get one shot on goal using an apple as the ball and Olive's umbrella as the hockey stick. Sophie Swine volunteered to play in goal. Everyone took turns to shoot. Some shot too high, some shot too low. But every time, Sophie would get in the way of the apple ball and eat it, stopping it going into the goal. For one shot, she even did a backward somersault, landing on her feet and gobbling up the apple.
Well, you're the last player, Olive. No one has managed to get a goal yet. So if you score a goal now, then you're the winner.
Olive took a long run up and swung for the apple ball. But the pitch was so wet, she slipped. Her shot had lost all of its power. Olive watched as the ball rolled slowly towards the line. But instead of saving the apple ball by eating it, Sophie simply let it roll through her legs and into the goal.
Goal!
Shouted Sean.
Olive's the winner!
The other pigs cheered and lifted Olive high into the air.
Heck, I'm glad I won. Sophie, why didn't you save my shot?
Sorry, I would have done, but my tummy's too full of apples.
Said Sophie before letting out a huge burp. They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Heck, actually, I've been playing a wonderful game of hockey.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was wearing a white shirt, a black suit jacket and a bow tie. She was in a huge kitchen. Chefs in tall white hats running around, one using a large metal spoon to ladle soup out of a huge steaming pot, and another icing a big cake with a piping bag.
Heck, this is a really busy place.
She could hear someone smashing plates, and she went off to see what was happening. She noticed a rosy-cheeked manager surrounded by broken plates.
Oh, hello.
Said Olive.
Ah, bonjour, mademoiselle.
Said the manager.
My name's not Mademoiselle, it's Olive. Pleased to meet you. Are you okay?
I'm Pierre Petitpois, and it is the opening night of my restaurant Le Mange Tout.
Well, that's great.
Exclaimed Olive.
Oui, but the head waiter has not turned up, and the famous food critic Monsieur Le Croc is coming. How am I going to serve everyone their food on my own? C'est impossible.
Oh, dear. Well, I could help you, but you'll need to show me what to do.
Said Olive.
What a magnifique idea.
So Pierre showed Olive how to serve like a real waitress. She had to hold a tray with one hand, pour grape juice into a glass with another, meanwhile serving the finest sausage and mashed potato with 2 silver spoons.
Oh, heck. I'm not sure I'm very good at this.
Said Olive.
Oh, quel dommage. This will never work. We need to go faster.
Faster?
Thought Olive. Just then, Olive remembered all the equipment from the kitchen.
A silver ladle? A piping bag? I think I may have an idea.
Olive went to fetch the 2 items from the kitchen.
When it's time to serve the food, you hold up the customer's plates and I'll catapult the sausage and mashed potato onto them. Then I'll squirt the grape juice from the piping bag into the glasses. We should be able to serve them all in no time.
Olive, this idea is fantastic.
Very soon, the restaurant was full of hungry customers. So Olive and Pierre got to work, catapulting, catching, aiming and squirting. The food critic, Monsieur Le Croc, had arrived and was sitting, waiting for his dinner. It was all going so well, until Olive began to serve the food a little too fast, and Pierre couldn't keep up.
Olive, you must slow down,
Warned Pierre.
or something bad is going to...
But before he could finish, Olive catapulted the mashed potato into the food critic Monsieur Le Croc's face and the sausage into his mouth. The whole restaurant fell silent.
Monsieur Le Croc, I'm ever so sorry. Are you okay?
Monsieur Le Croc didn't move for a second. Then he took a big bite of his sausage and licked his lips.
Magnifique. I have never seen service like it. I award Le Mange Tout the highest honor, la golden fork.
Pierre could not believe it.
Oh, mademoiselle, you saved the day.
All in a day's work, Pierre. But my name's Olive.
They both laughed. And as they did, Olive realized it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Bagek? Actually, I've been a waitress in the finest French restaurant.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was standing in a little village. The buildings were made entirely out of logs, and they nestled between tall green trees and snow-topped mountains. She was wearing a lovely woolly scarf.
Bagek, what a beautiful place.
Just then, Olive heard a strange gurgling sound coming from behind one of the log cabins. So she went to investigate. She found a little girl sobbing into her hanky in a most peculiar way. Olive had never heard anything like it.
My name's Olive. Are you okay?
Oh, I didn't see you there. My name's Heidi Hi. My family own the holiday camp here, and today we're holding our famous Swiss family Yodeling concert to mark the first day of the ski season.
Oh, Bagek, how exciting.
Oh, you little don't understand. There isn't any snow. Tradition says if we don't have any snow on the first day of the ski season, we won't have any snow at all, and no skiers will come to visit.
In the distance, Olive could see the beautiful snow-capped mountains, but in the village there was only the tiniest dusting of snow on the rooftops. She was about to start thinking of a way to help when she heard an announcement boom out over the loudspeakers.
Heidi hi, time for our last yodeling rehearsal.
That's my mum. I'd better go and practice.
Olive followed Heidi back to her family to find out what yodeling was. Then the hills erupted with sound as Heidi's family all burst into a strange song. Olive stood and listened. It was then she noticed that the dusting of snow on the rooftops had begun to quiver and shake. As Heidi and her mother hit a high note, the snow rolled off the roof and landed on the ground. Olive grinned.
Yodelers? Loudspeakers and a snow-capped mountain? I think I may have an idea. Heidi, help me collect all the loudspeakers. We're going to create a super speaker.
Olive placed them in a long line, pointing towards the snowiest peak.
Now all you need to do is yodel into here, and I'm sure your voices will shake the snow down from the mountains in no time.
Yodeloo, do you really think that'll work?
Asked Heidi.
There's only one way to find out.
And with that, they burst into song. In the distance, the snow on the mountain tops began to quiver. It looked like it was dancing as it gently started to roll down the slopes towards the village. But even though they yodeled with all their might, the snow stopped short.
Yodeloo have to join in, Olive. We're just not loud enough.
Said Olive as she cleared her throat and prepared to sing. They yodeled and yodeled, and the gathering crowds watched with delight as the snow tripped and danced its way gently into the village, covering the entire place with a thick blanket of snow.
Oh, Olive, there's enough snow here to ski and sledge and build snowmen until springtime. Thank you.
It was no problem.
They all laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I've been yodeling in the Swiss Alps.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure. Olive was wearing a sparkly purple tutu and white boots with metal blades on the bottom. She was standing on a white floor in a big, chilly room. Olive took a step forward, but slipped on the floor. It was made out of ice. She fell over and landed on her bottom.
Ouch! Oh, this floor's very slippery and very cold.
A very glamorous ice skater glided up to Olive and helped her to her feet.
Oh, thanks for helping me up. My name's Olive.
The ice skater was wearing a sparkly white outfit and a cape made of hundreds of purple ribbons. He was looking rather upset.
Hello, Olive. My name is Sammy Sparkle, and I'm having a dazzling disaster.
Why's that, Sammy?
It's the biggest ice skating competition of the year, shimmer and shine, and my partner is nowhere to be seen. Without a partner, I can't enter the competition, and it begins in 1 hour.
Maybe I can help you. But can you show me what to do?
So Sammy took her wing and tried to teach Olive how to ice skate. But Olive slipped, wobbled and flopped all over the place.
Well, I'm not sure ostriches are cut out for ice skating.
Oh, but Olive, how are we ever going to win shimmer and shine?
Just then, Olive noticed Sammy's cape.
The ribbons from your cape. I think I may have an idea.
They went backstage to Sammy's dressing room and got to work. Olive plucked the ribbons from his cape and tied them all together.
Oh, what are you doing to my cape?
I've made a long ribbon to tie us together. Now I'll be able to stay on my feet while we dance.
Oh, what a fabulous idea.
Suddenly, a voice boomed out over the loudspeakers.
Will the final 2 competing ice skaters please come to the rink?
Olive quickly wrapped the ribbon around them, tied a knot, and off they went. They glided out onto the ice and began to dance together. Because Olive was tied to Sammy, they both performed an amazing dance, and Olive didn't fall over. It was all going so well until the knot in the long purple ribbon began to loosen and Olive slid away from Sammy.
Oh, no, Olive. What are we going to do now?
Grab onto one end of the ribbon and I'll hold the other. Whatever you do, Sammy, don't let go.
But it was too late. Olive was slipping and sliding all over the place, running on the spot, skating backwards, forwards, here, there, and everywhere. It was a disaster. Sammy tried to pull Olive back towards him, but as he did, she tripped and the ribbon snapped into lots of little ribbons which flew up in the air along with Olive. Screamed Olive with her wings flapping in the air. She flew straight into Sammy Sparkle and they both dramatically dropped to the floor. The crowd stood to their feet and went wild. Sammy Sparkle couldn't believe it.
The crowd loved us, Olive.
Olive and Sammy bowed to the judges as they each held up their scorecards. 10, 10, 10, 10.
Fabulous. A perfect score. We've won shimmer and shine, and it's all down to you, Olive.
Oh, phew. For a moment there, I thought we were skating on thin ice.
They both laughed. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Actually, I won a skating competition.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.